Hi guys, this is Kanaka Naidu, having more than 5 years experience in GATE teaching. Today we are discussing about signals and systems subject. As compared to the signals and systems subject, first of all try to understand what is called a signal and what is called a system. Suppose students, whatever may be the system may be electrical system or biological system or maybe mechanical or maybe any system. If I write the system as a rectangular box, for example, if I write the system as a rectangular box, then we can say the definition for system is the meaningful interconnection of physical devices and components. What is the meaning of meaningful interconnection of physical devices and components? For example, students, suppose we want to design a low pass filter. For designing the low pass filter, what are the components we needed? First one is resistor, and we need one capacitor, and we need some connecting wires. And where you will do all those things? All those things we will do on the breadboard. So we need one resistor, we need one capacitor, and some connecting wires and breadboard. Suppose students, I taken all the four components. I taken resistor, capacitor, some connecting wires and breadboard. By taking all the four components, if I kept all these four components on some experimental bench table, I taken resistor, capacitor, connecting wires and breadboard. I kept all these four components on a experimental bench table. Now can I call it is a low pass filter? Yes, please respond. Can I call it is a low pass filter? No, obviously. When you can call it is a low pass filter? Whenever if you connect resistor in series with the capacitor, that is, if you are connecting resistor in series with the capacitor, of course, we are taking input here and we are taking the output here. Now we can call this is a low pass filter. Here, what is the meaning of the system? The meaning of the system is, students, the way of connecting resistor and a capacitor in a meaningful manner. Of course, here meaningful manner means connecting resistor in series with the capacitor. That is, so finally I am giving the overall definition for system is the meaningful way of connecting components and devices. Itself is called a system. Of course, here connecting resistor in series with the capacitor. All of you following or not? Now, for example, I designed the system. Still, if you want a more generalized example, suppose you can take our classroom example. So in our classroom, yes, there is a number of benches are there in our classroom. What is the intention of keeping the benches in the classroom? Yes? Yeah, for the students has to sit on the benches and for listening the class. For example, if the institute people are, maintaining the benches are upside and down. Now, in that example, is it possible for a student to sit on the benches and for listening the class? Yes, obviously not. So there in that particular example, the meaning of system is, students, the proper arrangement of benches. So now, for example, all the benches are arranged properly. Yes, very good. Now, there is no student on the benches. Now, if I take the signals and systems class, not only signals and systems class, if I take any subject, is there any use if there is no student on the benches? Obviously no. The meaning is systems cannot achieve anything unless up to they are connected with one component, that is called, student, signal. We are giving in the input side, you can call it is an input signal. And we are getting output is also a signal. But I am calling this is output signal. Then what is the difference, you may ask? You are giving the input is signal, you are taking the output is also a signal. Then what is the difference in that? Is output signal is having some desired qualities when compared with the input signal in that particular scenario or in that particular situation. Just like for you, the difference between the input and output signal is the same student. For example, there is a one student called Arun. He is attending for our video classes. Now, what is the difference between the input and output signal is Arun before taking the classes, Arun after taking the classes. Means before he is attending for the classes, here the input signal is Arun before taking the class. Here system is our video class. And output is the same Arun after listening my signals and systems class. Yes, obviously, after listening my signals and systems class, he will be more suitable for writing the gate examination. So here, the difference between the input and output signals are more desirable, more suitable in that particular example when compared with our input signal. And even though still if I take more generalized example, take our classroom example only. In our classroom, for example, to run our classroom, we have some 3 fans and 2 tube lights are there. To run these 2 electrical appliances, we need some electrical power. But unfortunately, there is no electrical power available now. But I have another alternative is there for the institute. That is, they are having a generator. So what is the input we are giving to the generator? Please respond. Yes? What is the input we are giving to the generator? Please say your answers. Yeah? Mechanical energy. Okay. Next. What is the input we are giving to the generator? We are giving input to the generator is a diesel, not the electrical, mechanical, something else. So for example, student, directly if I take that diesel, I am giving 1 liter to the tube lights, another 1 liter to the fans. Can they work? Yes. Can they work or not? Obviously not. Means that in that example, that the generator is the system, input diesel is the diesel, and the output will be the electrical power it will give you. That electrical power can run those 2 electrical appliances, which is the tube light and the fan. Getting my point or not? So here, that is the difference between the input and the output signal. Even in that example also, for that generator, if you are not giving the any input of diesel, can they produce the electrical power? Obviously not. Means systems cannot give anything unless up to they are connecting with one component that is called a signal. Now from the last 10 minutes, I am saying the word called signal. What is the meaning of a signal? The meaning of the signal is, I can say plenty of definitions we can give you. For example, signal I am calling any quantity is having some information within it. For example, student, now I can call voice signal. Now in this class, what I am giving is a voice signal. What is the meaning of signal? Just now I told. It is associated some information. What is that information? For example, if I take this voice signal, commonly we will call a frequency range of 300 to 3.5 kilo. What is the meaning of that 300 to 3.5 kilohertz? And what is the meaning of information? The meaning of information is, student, here what is the amplitudes, or what is the information at each and every frequency component. Still, if I say more generalized version, what is called information? For example, here I am talking, I can call this is a voice signal. Yes, what is the meaning of that voice signal? Or what is the meaning of that information is, when I am talking, try to understand clearly. When I am talking, depending upon the pressure generated on the vocal cords, depending upon that, I will generate the pressure wave. That is also called sound wave. So what is the meaning of information there? What is my strength of the amplitudes, or what is the strength of the pressure at each and every frequency component? Why I written 300 to 3.5 kilo? If we take the voice of any male or female in the country, in the world, not only in the country, the information, the intelligent information will be lies in that frequency of 300 to 3.5 kilo. So here, might be the signal is a voice or maybe video. For example, I want to transmit one video content, just like our video classes. For example, I want to transmit some audio content, like you can take the examples of FM radio. So finally, what I am saying is, any quantity having some information itself is called a signal. So we are giving input is a signal, it will make some process. And what is that process we'll discuss. And we will get the output also a signal. But in the previously itself I told, it is having the more desired features when compared with our input in that particular example. Might be in some cases, same thing you have to reproduce after transmitting a lot of distance. Just like if you take our communication systems. In our communication systems, for example here, in this studio, I am taking my lecture, it is going to be traveled to all the places. Or maybe the virtual classes will be there. Here I am live classes. Directly here, you can also see in your laptop, which you are some 1,000 kilometers or maybe infinite kilometers from our studio. So finally, I think all of you understand what is called a signal and what is called a system and what is the relation in between the both.